Hey, it's alright. Do what you wanna. Make me believe it. I don't know why that song is stuck in my head, but get it, shorty. Hello, hello, hello. I need a haircut. Hello, hello. Time is set up for Instagram. Oh, this one little piece is gonna bother the heck out of me. It's all right. Welcome in. Hmm. I need to go change. Turn my heat off so make sure it don't turn on. Oh, oh. Welcome in. Let's go over here. Hello, hello. Yes. Get it, shot it, get it. Of course, I gotta get Instagram set up because I always, I find that if I wait till the last minute with Instagram, I have better luck with it connecting than me trying to do it, than me trying to do it ahead of time and being prepared. That's another way for me to say, listen, y'all, I procrastinate and y'all gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. You gonna be okay. We gonna be okay. Hey, hey. Welcome in. Welcome in. I need my books that help me keep this in order. I'm in a fantastic mood today, y'all. I got lots of good everything over the weekend. Just good energy, good vibes, good just food, lots of just goodness over the weekend. And so I'm very, very thankful. Very thankful. This is the book I want to use to hold that book up. Okay. All right. And we are sorry. Hey, friends. Hey, friends. Ah, Instagram always is my stubborn one. Let's see. Let's try again with Instagram. It's always Instagram. It's me. And we reading. Mm-mm. Thank you, friend. Thank you. And we're live on Instagram. I always do the little point. Woo! We already got 5 people in here. We haven't even hit 5 minutes yet. Oh, this is exciting. Mm. I played myself by not having a bottle of water ready for me. I have wine. I don't have water ready. As if I don't Thank you. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm so glad that y'all are here. I hope y'all had a lovely weekend. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Happy birthday to Dr. Martin Luther King. Um, I'm so happy to see y'all here. So happy to see y'all here. Oh my gosh, we have so many people here. Ooh, I'm so excited. Ah, I'm giving my Ori, you know, some love today. I'm excited. I'm excited. Hello. Welcome in. I'm going to go grab me some water while we're waiting on these last 20 or so seconds to get them by so we can get started. Oh, 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 oh. Hello, hello. Oh, let me go share it on Twitter. Since, you know, things have happened over the weekend. Y'all, Yes, I love my yellow. The yellow is good, right? I gotta get more yellow in my wardrobe because me and yellow, we like this. Mm. And MissTaylorSaid.com is gonna be very yellow, I think. I don't know. Yellow feels like the right color for MissTaylorSaid.com. Um, but I'm not completely sure. Um, I'm live now. Uh, reading with Miss Taylor. Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. Mm-mm. And yes, yes, yes. So I got it shared on Twitters. Now, if y'all, wherever y'all are watching, if y'all could go ahead and share it to your followers, invite somebody, send it to their DMs. You know that little arrow down there at the bottom? You see the arrow? It's like right there. Oop, yep, my nail's clean. The arrow that's right there. Use that. Send it to somebody. Send it to somebody. Put it on your story. Whatever it is that you can do. Hey, y'all. Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. I'm so happy to see so many people. I'm so happy you guys are here. I am so happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to enjoy this moment. And I'm just so happy to see y'all. Like, I'm really genuinely freaking happy. So, welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. I am Taylor, also known as Miss Taylor Said. And this show was created because I have some things that I want to do with my life, and I have some goals that I want to accomplish. One of those goals is to actually read the books that I've purchased and that are in my home. I have so many books. Like there's books there, there's books over here, some books right there, some books right there, some books in my room, there's some books under my entertainment. I got books everywhere. Okay. And the Japanese have a word for it. I can't remember. I'll find out that word and have it for you tomorrow. But the Japanese have a word for it for people that collect books and don't actually read them. But I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that reads her books. So that's why I have this show, Reading with Miss Taylor Said. So that's one of the things that I want to accomplish. Another goal that I want to accomplish is getting comfortable with reading aloud in front of an audience because I plan on doing work that involves a teleprompter at some point in my life. I plan on being a public speaker of some sort where I gotta stand there in front of a teleprompter, whether that's on a show like The Daily Show or something like that, or it's doing speeches, whatever it is that I'm going to be doing, it will have a teleprompter and I'm going to do that. Okay. And the third goal that I have is that I want to get way more comfortable with engaging with an audience and feel more comfortable with public speaking because it's been years since I've done it. Well, at this point, we've been doing this show since November 30th of 2020. Like y'all, November, December, January. This is 2 months. We are in 2 months of doing this show. Okay. We've been doing this since November 30th. Shout out to the shout out. Shout out to those who've been here since day one, week one. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And if you haven't been here since day one, since week one, that's okay. That's okay. I have a thread on, if you go to my Twitter right now, twitter.com/Miss Taylor Said, if you go to my Twitter right now, you'll be able to find a thread that has all the episodes that are on my personal page, because that's where the first 2 weeks were. They were on my personal Facebook page, and it is a pain in the butt to upload them anywhere else because I don't have a computer that can do that right now. But a MacBook is coming my way soon. I'm speaking that a MacBook is coming my way soon because I'm putting in the work, and that's what I need to continue to do this work in high quality. So a MacBook is coming my way soon, but but you can go look on Twitter. There's the pinned tweet is a thread of all the older episodes, and so you can catch up. But for those who have been hanging with us, we are reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. We're reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols, and we are almost done. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We are in chapter 5, the fourth E, which is endowment. We're going to be talking about money. So it might be a little uncomfortable, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to get through it. I'm going to get through it because the idea of money makes me a little uncomfortable. Not something that has always come to me easily in this lifetime, but it's okay. That's going to change, and that is changing. That has already changed. But I want to read to you guys what the four E's are because this is the last E. of this book. So the 4 E's, Lisa Nichols talks about the 4 E's for your path to an abundant future. The first one is enrichment. As you develop your whole self into a focused and abundant thinker, that's what you'll be doing. That's you working on you. Your enrichment is you working on you, doing that shadow work, understanding yourself, all of that. So that's the first thing. The second E is enchantment, connecting with others, which is what we're doing here, connecting with others, and developing relationships that will support you in success. The third E, which was the chapter we did last week, is engagement. And that comes from pursuing work, either employment or your own business that leads to exciting experiences, as my career has done, or ably bankrolls whatever you want to do. And the last E, which is the one we're starting today in chapter 5, is endowment. And that is money. We're going to talk about a new approach to money and seeing money as an endowment that grows and continues to fund the kind of breathtaking lifestyle, as Lisa likes to put it, the breathtaking if you can imagine. And so, with all of that being said, welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. I'm so excited to dive in. So, the fourth E, endowment. I'm going to take a sip of my wine. I wasn't able to have my wine on Wednesday, so I'm going to have it today. Take a sip of my wine. And it starts with a quote. The chapter is called The Fourth E, Endowment for a Beautiful Future. With the assignment God has placed on our life, we were also given the means and the intention to fulfill that assignment. The divine path on our lives comes bundled with the resources required to deliver on it. And that's a quote from Lisa Nichols. So let's dig in. Welcome. If I hadn't already said it, welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. Oh, the sweet smell of success. Yummy. A beautiful home, the luxury of free time, exciting travel, blissful relationships, a healthy lifestyle, and the pleasure of knowing we can easily take care of our family. Wait a minute. Doesn't all of that take money? While we've looked closely at shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance in every other area of your life, focusing on enrichment of self, enchantment in relationships, and engagement in work, I've left the most essential area until last. Before we get deep into this, for those of you, because it looks like a few of you are joining us for the first time or haven't really been here a lot, I'm so appreciative and I'm so thankful. This book was written in the Obama years. So I will always, if there's something that comes up that is a little out of context, this one long hair is just, if there's something that comes up that's kind of like not really compatible with the world with the pandemic world that we live in right now, we'll talk about it. So, we'll talk about it. Today, unfortunately, most people equate money and prosperity with wads of cash and rich people who have enough to splurge their way through life without a care, never thinking about how their needs will be met, how they spend their time, how they conduct themselves with others, or whether they pay attention to the concerns of, well, anyone. The wealthy, society tells us, can afford to focus on themselves and ignore others. They can buy happiness while the rest of us struggle. They can demand loyalty where it isn't due, enjoy special treatment just because they have money, and spend like crazy consuming everything, literally anything they lay their eyes on. Of course, these descriptions aren't necessarily accurate, but with stereotypes like these, it's no wonder that a negative image of wealth and prosperity has taken shape over time in our culture. Perhaps it's even how money came to be seen as evil to the majority of the population. Did you grow up with a negative money mindset? Many of us learned from well meaning parents that money is not readily available to us, or that it's somehow accessible only to a small group of people who are smarter, prettier, better educated, better connected, or more worthy than we are. You may have heard as a child, money doesn't grow on trees. The rich always get richer, the poor always get poorer. Save your allowance because there's no more where that came from. Rich people get money by scamming the rest of us. If you're rich, you can't be conscious, spiritual, or ecologically ecologically aware, excuse me. Life is hard and the little guy never gets a break. If any of the above statements became your money mantra as a child, or if you come to associate money with hardship, deception, and something that's difficult to earn, or cruelty to others, let me help you reframe this negative mindset by asking a simple question. Have you ever wondered what rich people think about money? Yes. Yes, I have. In the next section is called Rich People Think Differently. In his book, How Rich People Think, Steve Siebold, who has spent nearly 3 decades interviewing millionaires and reporting on what separates them from everyone else, describes a far different viewpoint from the traditional thinking. In his list of 21 ways rich people think differently, Steve illustrates that people who enjoy substantial financial wealth, material riches, time freedom, and other forms of prosperity have a far different mentality when it comes to getting rich and staying that way, a mindset that is usually fostered during childhood. Although I reacted to these survey results by saying, ouch, I'm one of those average people he's describing, I also know that whenever I want the results someone else has achieved, I strive to adopt their mindset, even if it's painful to hear or off putting to my current thinking. Here are 5 ways Steve says rich people think differently. Not gonna lie, y'all, this is about to be rough because I have very, 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 very strong opinions. I don't know why my nose looks so red. I have very strong opinions on capitalism, and so this is going to be uncomfortable. So let's just truck through this together. Why don't we? The first one says average people have been brainwashed into thinking that money is the root of all evil, while rich people believe poverty is the root of all evil. While there's a certain amount of discredit in lower income communities about getting rich, he says wealthy people know that money makes life easier and more enjoyable, and that there's no virtue in doing without. So rich people believe poverty is the root of all evil. Huh. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Middle class people believe that you have to do something to get rich, while wealthy people believe that you have to be something to get rich. Millionaires know their true goal is to become human success machines that can produce outstanding results and substantial wealth whenever required. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. The third one. Average people live beyond their means, while rich people live below theirs. It's a secret the wealthy have used for centuries. Steve says they live below their means not because they're smarter than the rest of us, but because they've amassed enough wealth to live like royalty and still have money socked away for the future. Okay. Ah, yeah, 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 ugh, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, this is going to be a very specific request. But my dear B, my friend, can you send a message to the person who was our manager and let her know I'm doing a show? Thank you. Whew, whew, this is not easy to get through, you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy to get through. All right. Mm. Average people teach their children how to survive. Rich people teach their kids how to get rich. Children of the wealthy learn early in life to see the world objectively. They understand that some people will live an abundant life while others simply won't. And if they can understand early what those differences in lifestyle mean, their parents believe they'll be more likely to strive for financial wealth as adults. Whew. Whew. Okay. While many of Siebel's realizations sounded harsh and judgmental to me at first, as I've told you, I'm always committed to learning what I don't know. Same here. Sometimes I simply have to be willing to hear painful lessons. In giving you these distinctions, my goal is to empower you to make a choice. This awareness is not meant to judge you. This awareness is not meant to judge you. I'm going to look over at the mirror at myself and say the same thing. This awareness is not meant to judge you, me, you, or you. It's not meant to judge you, okay? But rather to inspire you, okay? Of course, I didn't always have a rich mindset. When I was growing up in South Central Los Angeles, a largely African American neighborhood notorious for gang activity and the cramped households of the working poor, the lessons I learned about money created countless negative beliefs. Back then, money was hard to make and difficult to keep. I witnessed my mother and father do their very best to provide for us, but my mother used to say that money was burning a hole in her pocket. I literally thought that money was hot, divisive, and something to be gotten rid of quickly. As a culture, the name of the game was earn it, spend it. While my parents worked hard at steady jobs that were better than most in my neighborhood, they still had limited education about how to save money and manage their finances. Our basic needs were met, but not every bill could be paid. Some languished for months. There was always a bill that had to be negotiated. It was often robbing Peter to pay Paul when we had to choose which bill would go unpaid. Financial lack and scarcity were a normal way of life, but neither I nor my extended family members could even knew that we were poor because to us it was just normal. Our family was love rich, memory wealthy, and family abundant. But in the face of these financial hardships, our household existed under an either or mentality. We could either buy this or have that, but never both. Victory was simply getting to the next month. We never talked about building wealth. We only talked about surviving. To my mom and dad, wealth came from family experience. They invested all their energy into making sure their family was solid. No one ever talked about thriving. We never experienced financial abundance. All we knew was how to manage the struggle. And outside of my family, I heard the same conversations about struggle in my schools, community, and church. Same, sis. Same. But one day, after 25 years of internalizing and reinforcing these limiting beliefs and experiences around money, I picked up a copy of a book I've never heard. I picked up a copy of a book I've mentioned before, Stephen Covey's success classic, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Chapter by chapter, this book was a revelation. It felt like water in the midst of a drought and oxygen when I felt like I was suffocating. Page after page, it seemed like Stephen Covey was throwing me a lifeline. In fact, I was blown away by the idea that acting a certain way, practicing certain habits and behaviors could ultimately lead to a better life. More money, more happiness. Getting out of just another job I hated and finally having the means and tools to really enjoy living. Although I had been raised with a certain money mindset that I know that no longer served me, I learned I could choose to change it and then actually make the change for the better. Ooh, that was rough. That section is done, and that was rough, y'all. I had a lot of commentary while I was reading, so I don't really need to add additional commentary, but that was rough. That was rough because that was just what she's saying about how she grew up and everything like that. Totally get it. Totally in there. Totally with it. We're in a far different time now. It's not just about and the thing is, I feel like the veil was still on about the separation of the classes and the intentional separation of the classes. And while there are people like herself that have worked really, 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 really hard to get out of those situations, um, it's still pretty intentional. So people that are homeless and dying and things like that. Poverty mindset. It's not that. Okay. To create prosperity, you must first create a new relationship with money. That is the name of this section. Once I approached my relationship to money from a new angle. I began to see the purpose of money I began to see the purpose of money very differently. Money was no longer the root of all evil. I don't believe money is the root of all evil. I don't. Capitalism, patriarchy, mhm, root of evil. But money, no. Um, Money was no longer the root of all evil. Money was no longer about world domination to you. I began to think of money as an instrument, money as a tool, money as a critical team member for achieving your dreams and desired lifestyle. While money can have a chokehold on you, it can equally be a source of freedom. Money is a change agent for our lives and for the lives of others. When we shift our relationship to money, when we decide that money is good, y'all, I'm literally getting a headache reading this. When we decide that money is good, money is available, money creates freedom, money creates memories, money cuts the ties that bind people in place, money provides possibility, and that money can be an instrument versus an all-consuming struggle, then money becomes a conversion tool in our lives. It becomes the thing that gives us access to transformation, access to social cause, and access to economic responsibility. How were you raised to think about money? If you grew up believing that somehow money is a struggle or that prosperity is outside of your reach, know that you have the power within you to change the scarcity mindset into one of abundance. All right. We're getting through this. We're getting through this. We're doing okay. How y'all doing? Can we check in? How y'all feeling? We good? We getting through this? You still with me? We still comfortable? You know, IG, they left me. The people over here on Instagram, they gone. They weren't feeling it. So my Facebook people, y'all still with me? Just let me know. The next section is called Identifying Your Money Blueprint. As you begin to focus on accumulating wealth, you may find the old ways of thinking, lifelong behaviors, and long ago life experiences can't help you anymore. They haven't prepared you for substantial wealth. And in fact, you're probably getting the feeling they're actually holding you back. Whew. Mm-mm-mm. How might this feeling initially manifest? It may appear as frustration and resentment towards your life circumstances that planted such thinking, or perhaps as a sense of liberation and newfound freedom. It may even appear as excitement about this new way of thinking as you realize that your old mindset no longer fits you and you replace it with a more solid belief system that you actually trust as your new truth. In my trainings, we do a lot of work to redraw people's money blueprint. A money blueprint is the unique combination of beliefs and actions that result from cultural, economic, and other life experiences you've encountered since childhood that today influences how you make money, what you think about money, and how you spend it, and how you react when money flows into your life. Now that you're older, your money blueprint is deep rooted as a series of subconscious triggers. Ain't we? Yes, yes, yes. That cause you to act and react in certain ways. I feel like we're all sitting on the trigger right now. Yes, we are. You aren't always aware that the past is influencing the way you relate to money, but it is in 5 distinct ways. We're about to get into some stuff. I feel it. Your cultural background affects your money blueprint. When I began to earn serious money, as my company grew and I was able to draw more and more cash from the business to fund my personal financial goals, I discovered that I had a cultural bias against spending money on myself for fine foods, designer clothes, luxury travel, and other comforts of a wealthier lifestyle. For example, I grew up as an African American woman baking chicken and peach cobbler, eating cabbage and cornbread. The simple, delicious, economical comfort foods that were part of my culture. When I began to spend more on dining out, I learned to also love filet mignon, lamb chops, and salmon, but it still took time and lots of expanded life experiences for me to give myself permission to embrace and truly enjoy the luxuries that I did not grow up experiencing. I discovered that this same cultural imprint affects all of us when it comes to money. My cultural influences, for example, included a heavy emphasis on faith, God, and family. Those were our riches. In fact, We often heard the Bible scripture from the Sermon on the Mount. Do not lay up for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Matthew 6:19-20. This taught me that money wasn't something to be enjoyed here on earth. What have your cultural influences taught you? Does your culture tell you to do more with less, to constantly stretch a dollar? Does it say that money gives you status and that money and more is always better? Was money a positive element of your culture? How does that affect your view of and interaction with money now? If your culture growing up was one where most families experience financial struggle or lack, we'll talk in just a moment about how to reprogram this thinking that life is hard. If you grew up as a young woman in a culture that discouraged working outside of the home, we'll change that too. If your parents came from a culture that continually denied themselves and you small luxuries but never explained the reason for the frugality, you'll have to work extra hard to master the art of appropriately and benevolently spending accumulated wealth on yourself and your loved ones. If you grew up in a comfortable home where lack of money was never an issue, but instead your family's abundant wealth caused absentee, workaholic parents, family fights, or even drug abuse and isolation at school, I'll help you take on a completely different viewpoint that will better serve you. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Beatrice said money has always been a negative thing. If we have to talk about it, it's not a good thing. Yeah. Ooh, y'all. We're pushing through. We're pushing through. We're doing it. I believe in us. Mm. Your economic background helps draw your money blueprint too. It's probably no surprise. I have a yawn that's sitting right here in my face and I can't get it out. And it kind of sucks. We're reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now if you're just now joining us. If you're just now joining us, we're reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now. I wasn't yawning behind the book. Whew, it's probably no surprise that the amount of money your family had growing up, the economic situation you were in, has had a tremendous influence on your relationship with money. Was there always enough or never enough? Was there frustrations or arguments about money in your home? Was money or the lack of it always a thing of worry? Did lots of money provide a comfortable lifestyle? Damn gnats. Did lots of money provide a comfortable lifestyle, but also keep your parents working day and night so they never had time for you? Did limited money mean that your parents had to play favorites, that some of your siblings got what they wanted, but you didn't? Was money the reward for all things, or was it the great divider of your family? If money was divisive back then, realize that you may have a divisive relationship with money now. If there was never enough money growing up, then your current perception of money is probably rooted in scarcity. No matter how much money you eventually make, you may still believe you never have enough. How can that show up later in life? A friend of mine was so poor growing up that he owned just two white shirts to wear to school. Every day, his mother would wash one of them for him to wear the next day. He grew up to be very successful and now has a closet with over 150 white shirts just because of the scarcity he experienced as a child. On the other hand, if your family had money but was mainly focused on keeping up with the Joneses, then your relationship with money may be about competition. And if money was a source of joy, the reason you got to take fun vacations or buy pretty things, then your blueprint will correctly categorize money as something that can help you make you and others happy. Welcome back in. You need to be aware of the economic level your blueprint is helping you aspire to. In a study of blue collar workers, for instance, researchers found that the highest economic strata most participants aspired to be was upper middle class, earning slightly more than the rest of society. They did not want to be, Clearly, I should have made coffee instead of pouring a glass of wine. Jeez. I want to take a nap. Taylor need to go nap. This is a rough section. It is. It's uncomfortable. That's probably why my body is just like, let's just go take a nap. Let's go to sleep. We don't want to read this. This is not fun for us because I'm not hype. I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm just as novice as anybody else that might be hearing information like this for the first time. So, in a study of blue collar workers, for instance, researchers found that the highest economic strata most participants aspired to was upper middle class, earning slightly more than the rest of society. They did not want to be upper class individuals living off substantial inherited wealth or invested capital, or part of the super rich class who were billionaires. I find this fascinating but not surprising. Whenever my team coaches clients to greater prosperity, one of the first hurdles we face is the mental wealth ceiling that prevents clients from seeing themselves as wealthy. The next section says gender has a surprising influence on our relationship to money. Is it that surprising? Is it? Is it surprising? If you're a woman, hey y'all, your ideas, your ideas about substantial wealth and its creation might have been singularly influenced by what society or your family has taught you. Clearly, I need to drink some water, so give me a second. I'm going to drink some water to see if that gives me a little perk. Because I can't yawn through every paragraph. You know what I'm saying? Mm. All right. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Adjusting myself. Yeah. um, It's If you're a woman, your ideas about substantial wealth and its creation might have been singularly influenced by what society or your family taught you. Depending on your generation, society may have told you to marry a man who earns lots of money, that if you can find someone who will be a good provider, you'll be okay. Notice there's no room in that advice for creating a positive self-worth as a woman or becoming a valued economic partner to your husband. Although lately we women have pushed back on that advice saying we can make our own money, the more dated view has been the norm in our society until recent years. It looped back around, sis. It looped back around. Hi, welcome in. We are reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now. We are in chapter 5. Welcome in. Um, even today, even today, women own just 20% of businesses making over $1 million. And a recent Pew Research Center study says there still exists a sizable wage gap between men and women, with women earning only about 84% of what men do. Of course, if you're a man, the opposite may be true for you. Your manhood and self worth may be attached to how much money you make or how well you're providing for your family. Society has been far more supportive of women who choose to stay home and take care of children than it has for men who choose to do the same when it makes more sense in their family dynamic. So while you may not have chosen to follow the gender blueprint of society or that of your family, these messages are still there in your subconscious, waiting to be changed and challenged. The next section says your geographic origins affect your money mindset. Yes. What about your geographic origin? The place where you grew up. Your childhood community may have a diversity of cultures and ethnicities, but there is still a geographic umbrella to everyone in that community. Growing up in South Central Los Angeles, as she did, um, we had a far different relationship to money than kids who grew up in Beverly Hills. And if you grew up in a rural part of the country, you'll likely have a different relationship to money than if you were raised in an urban center. This goes for geographic regions within countries and also between countries. As my co-author, Janet Switzer, and I have traveled the world speaking to different audiences in over 40 countries, flex, we've seen tremendous differences in how people perceive money, including what they'll do or not do to acquire it. One of Janet's biggest eye openers occurred while shopping in Shanghai one Sunday afternoon between speaking engagements. Stopping by a leather shop to buy some gloves for her mom, Janet asked how late the shop stayed open so she could return and match another pair of gloves to an elaborate shawl she also wanted to buy. In perfect English, the owner replied, we're open every day until 10 p.m. We wouldn't make any money if we closed like they do in America. Geographically, he had developed a much different mindset from shop owners in America. He had acquired the necessary language skills to sell his goods to almost anyone who walked in, and he displayed the same urgency to make money as other entrepreneurs Janet had encountered in China. When you look, at your geography, what has it taught you about your relationship to money? Did it give you a mindset of ease and abundance or tightness and scarcity? Look at your existing or previous community and simply take inventory of the prevailing mindset and how it may have influenced you. Whew, y'all, still going. I still, yeah, she means, yeah, North Carolina. I won't say that everybody in North Carolina is selfish. I'm not gonna say that. Um, but we're not like, no, I don't think there's any place in America really outside of people's individual homes where the collective mindset is. So everybody in America is selfish to some degree because we're very individualistic, which has been clearly exposed during this pandemic, where it's just like individual mindsets and people looking out for themselves, which is why you have people who are like still, you have people who are reacting very negatively to the idea that the government may help those that they feel don't deserve it because we're, you know, you know. So, your spiritual upbringing can be a help or a hindrance. That's the next section. Finally, there's a spiritual influence on your money blueprint. Your faith or the religion in which you were raised can tremendously impact your feelings around money, regardless of whether that faith is still part of your life or not. In some spiritual backgrounds, for instance, money and prosperity is an indication of godliness. In others, it's the root of all evil. Instill others, you should instill others. That's a weird beginning of the sentence. Instill others, you should aspire to earn only what you need, then, oh, instill others. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm struggling with that. I've never seen those three words in that order before a comma. Not gonna lie. You should aspire to earn only what you need, then give any excess to the church and charity. Tithing a full 10% of your earnings is also common with many faiths. How was I raised? Well, I grew up in Baptist churches. I can still remember one of my early role models, Sister Brown, who, next to my grandmother Bernice, was the most godly woman I knew during my younger years. She was an angel on earth. She served people. She found food for the homeless. She volunteered to help others. But Sister Brown was also broke. While she always had some kind of charitable project going, a fish fry or a food drive, she had to raise the necessary money to make it happen. Unfortunately, the unspoken message I absorbed from that relationship, a subconscious conversation that became part of my own money blueprint, was that to be really faithful, I had to be broke. I needed to be able to do good works with no money so that I can be as godly as Sister Brown. For years, this unspoken language had a big influence on me. I volunteered a lot, and for the first 3 years of my speaking career, I spent much of my time speaking to women's shelters and rehab facilities for free, just trying to serve. I spoke 42 times for free before I started getting paid. At first, I was paid $50, then 300, then more and more. Ooh, these yawns are kicking my butt today, y'all. Ugh. But after delivering powerful speeches on living your dreams or designing a life that you love, after serving hundreds of willing listeners with my words, I would come home from that standing ovation experience only to find that my lights were cut off. And what I noticed was that as I began to make more money as a speaker, I also began to question whether I was being true to my calling to serve or my calling to do God's work. While I was undoubtedly serving others, while I was undoubtedly serving others in more places and more often, I still questioned it because I was making money doing it. I still held this image of Sister Brown in my head, a godly woman doing everything for free until she went to heaven. And if she did, and if she did it for free, this is embarrassing. And if she did it for free, I reasoned, then why am I asking to be paid for my gift? This was a major struggle for me, all based on spiritual input to my money blueprint. Your blueprint isn't right or wrong, is the next section. Your blueprint is not right or wrong. And before we get into that section, I'm going to read some of these comments because it looks like we got some comments happening over here. Beatrice said, I have a mixture of experiences that all happened during childhood, being comfortable, being broke, having to ask for money, living abroad, and being so poor I split sandwiches with my husband for our meal that day, but also made enough money there to not have to care. I'm all mixed up. LOL. Yes. Sarante said in response to Beatrice, same here. I've been comfortable, but I've also been broke, barely able to have scraps for food while also working. I never felt my stomach more empty during those times. But when I got comfortable again, it made me value every single piece. That came afterwards. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Welcome in. If you just came in on that loud yawn. We are reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now. Currently, we're in the chapter talking about money, and it's not comfortable. We're all having an uncomfortable time over here. So, welcome, join us. It's not that bad. We're all in solidarity with each other over here. So, thanks for being here. It's hard to find my blueprint with that as my background. Yes, I definitely understand. And so, let's see what she says. Let's see what she says about drawing up this blueprint. Of course, none of these cultural, economic, or spiritual influences make your blueprint right or wrong. They simply make up your foundational mindset. Your blueprint was created mostly before you were aware and long before you were able to make any decisions about money yourself. So don't discount the mindset of your old money blueprint because that is what got you here. It is what it is. But it also gives you a starting point. Welcome in. It also gives you a starting point for reforming your blueprint into one that will better support your ultimate financial goals. You will get to choose a new money mindset starting now. You get to redesign your money blueprint, create a new one to fit the breathtaking new reality you are creating for your future. And her question in bold today is, what parts of your cultural, economic, gender, geographic, and spiritual blueprint can you love and embrace? And which do you need to release because they no longer support who you are today? The way she formed that question is beautiful. And I can get with that than the examples that she was using from the other authors who were clearly in the previous chapters. All right. What got you here won't get you there. What got you here won't get you there. Welcome in. Welcome in to those that are watching. We are reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now. We are in her chapter of the 4th E, which is endowment, talking about money so we can fund our breathtaking new future, our breathtaking new life. So, what got you here financially won't get you there. Following is an exercise I use in my trainings to help people release past influences we know won't support future financial goals. Those childhood lessons and unspoken messages that can't possibly help you because they're simply incompatible with where you're headed. To begin the process of eliminating any negative money beliefs, let's go back through the 5 areas that influenced you in the first place: cultural, economic, gender, geographic, and spiritual. Take out a piece of paper and begin thinking back. What was happening in your household around money during childhood? How did your parents react to financial stressors. What did they do with their money? How did they spend it? How did they talk to you about money? Were you granted your request for money, or was there never enough for your needs? Were they responsible or irresponsible with their money? And when you started earning an allowance or generating a small income from odd jobs, babysitting, or a paper route, what did you do with your money? Were your parents in agreement that with your money decisions, or did they disagree with your actions? Jot down your remembrances about money growing up, grouping your memories into the preceding 5 categories. Your list might look like this. And so I'm going to go ahead and write down these categories for y'all. I'm going to go ahead and write down these categories for y'all. Of course, they're the ones that she's talking about: cultural, economic, gender, geographic, and spiritual. So these are the 5 categories: cultural, economic, gender, geographic, spiritual. These are your 5 categories. All right. So we're going to go through each one. First category, where's my cap? First one is cultural. So this is an example list. Okay. So example, virtually everyone on my street in South Chicago was African American. Most fathers worked in nearby steel mills, while most moms stayed home to care for the family. Our community was a tremendous support structure with neighbors helping neighbors. We ate traditional comfort foods that were economical but delicious and filling. No one I knew owned a business. A business was something complicated and difficult. And that's an example of cultural remembrances about money growing up. Economic remembrances about money growing up. Here's another example. We lived in an older house that needed repair, but we stayed in a safe neighborhood. My mom would deposit my dad's weekly paycheck, then pay the bills and take out 25 cents for each of us kids as an allowance for doing chores. We were considered the working poor, but I never knew that because our neighbors lived about the same way we did. I earned money doing odd jobs for other people. It wasn't a lot, but I always had pocket money to buy something pretty or get new clothes. My parents had a checking account, a small savings account, but no investments. I never knew what the stock market was or how other people invested their money. And that's economic remembrances. Now, gender remembrances from childhood about money, or from growing up about money. My grandmother lived with us once Grandpa Joe passed on. She and my mom ran the household. I was good at creating relationships with other girls, my teachers, and my neighbors. When I was a teenager, lots of employers offered jobs that were ideal for girls. My brother teased me for getting A's in math and science. Girls aren't smart, they said. No woman in my family ever went to college. Some never graduated from high school but got married instead. So this is another example list of remembrances about money growing up doing with gender. The next one is geographic. Because we lived in a distressed part of town, we were friends with neighborhood kids who had our same standard of living and shared our mindset around money. We shopped at local stores and rarely compared prices from businesses that were farther away. When I started a paper route to earn enough money to buy a bike, customers were slow to pay, so I learned that making money was hard. All right, spiritual. Our church actively helped the poor in our neighborhood with food and clothing. My minister urged parishioners to tithe a portion of their paychecks every week. Once, when a neighbor was too ill to work, our church members paid his rent for 3 months. Once, when I mentioned I wanted to own a hair salon one day, my Sunday school teacher said girls should become mothers, not business owners. Next, Now that we've gotten we've gotten those sections out of the way. There's 5 of them. Yeah. Now that we've gotten those 5 sections of remembrances and, where you can start to write down your list so you can figure out where your mind stands on these things. Next, circle or highlight on your list the 1 or 2 circumstances that have been the biggest driving force in your current relationship to money, which have largely influenced your current actions and thinking around money. In my household, for instance, small amounts received from our grandparents for Christmas or birthdays were spent as quickly as possible. As soon as we got the money, it was shopping time. We didn't stop until the money was all gone. I bought chili cheese dogs at our local car wash, bubblegum, candy, costume jewelry, sandals, anything fun. I'd even treat my friends to fast food, buying them all lunch. Brooke was level set. We were like lottery winners who not only spent all of the money, but who are heavily in debt within a few years of receiving their winnings. I followed that pattern. Later, I had to work hard to overcome this powerful driver. So the next section, we are 55 minutes in, 56 minutes in, excuse me. So we got about 4 more minutes. So this is probably going to be our last section right here. Let me see how long this chapter is. I don't know if this one, this is about as long. So we'll probably finish this by Wednesday. And we'll have the book done by next week, y'all. Go us. Change your behaviors through affirmations. What is allowance? I'm not familiar with allowance. I think I got it one time, and then it was just like, girl, there's 5 of y'all. Ain't no allowance, boo. I used to have to babysit, and then I got a job at 16. So I've been working since I was probably 12 or 13 years old, technically. Except now, this is the first time that I've gone this long without working. No, not the first time. This is not the first time I've gone this long without working, or at least being in school or something. Well, my first time going this long without working on purpose. When I was between the year 2014, 2015, I didn't work for a year, but this is the second time this has happened in my life. But yeah, allowance. Ha 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 ha. Oh no. Sorante said my allowance was being allowed to breathe in my own room. I mean, really, being allowed to live in the house. Because being not allowed to live in the house was also an option, and it was exercised, not for me. So, whew. Okay. Change your behaviors through affirmations. When you have your list written and highlighted, begin writing affirmation statements, thoughts, and images that paint clear pictures of your new behaviors to neutralize the old drivers and develop more positive ones. Review the section, use affirmations, and begin living the rich life in your mind in chapter 2. Create 1 affirmation for each highlighted or circled driver on your list you want to release. As you write each affirmation, remember to start with the words I am, 2 powerful words that your subconscious mind interprets as a command, a directive to make it happen. Write each affirmation in the present tense as if you're already conducting yourself or responding with the new behavior. Be sure to write how you do want to act and how you don't. Make it specific. For example, affirmation: I am confidently and joyfully running a $7 million business selling organic, custom formulated cosmetics through dozens of retail outlets. Incorrect. I want to start a business so I can earn substantial money. If you circle, no woman in my family ever went to college. Affirmation: I am so proud that I am attending Northwestern University Law School on a full scholarship. Incorrect. I want to go to college and become a lawyer. Finally, use emotional words that create feeling of the joyfulness, gratitude, happiness, pride, or confidence that you would be feeling if you were already displaying the new behavior. By far, this is the most powerful aspect of using affirmations to change your thoughts around money. When you begin affirming, seeing, and feeling yourself acting with confidence, able to solve problems within minutes, powerful, knowledgeable, relaxed, secure, your subconscious mind will be more will move heaven and earth to bring about those circumstances for real in your life. She's not wrong about that. She's not wrong about that. That if you tell your mind, if you train your mind to, we talked about this before in previous episodes, that changing that vocabulary surrounding talking about the things that you want. The example, I can't wait to do this. No, get I can't wait out of here and say I am excited to, I am ready to, I look forward to. Saying it like that is affirming rather than negative of I can't. Like, no, we're getting the negative words out of here. We're being specific. We're talking about one book that I have that I haven't really gotten into. It's a workbook that I have that I haven't really used that much because, again, I have all kinds of books in my house. This is one book that y'all. Now, I don't know if I'll read this one because it talk about hurt feelings. Okay, but it's called Adults, Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. I recommend that if you would like, oh, that's me, recommend you getting that for yourself. I don't know if I'll ever read that one on here, but we'll see. But this one is called the 555 challenge, and I'm a badass woman and I get what I manifest, because that's basically what we're saw with these affirmations. And this is the book. You can't, it's backwards, but that's the book. I have not used it. I used it one time and I did far too much, because what you end up doing is you set your intention, you set your affirmation, and then you write it 55 times for 5 days at the same time every day. And it's a commitment, it's a dedication, but it shifts your mindset. It trains your mind to believe what you want. And when your mind believes it, your mind says, okay, that's what we're going to get. That's what we want. That's what's going to happen. And we're going to do everything we can to make that happen, because in order for us to do the things to make sure that you're the best version of yourself and you're the version of your body that you say you want to be, we're going to do it like that. And I didn't explain that well. I didn't use the words that, other people be using when they're, spiritual and everything like that. But that's what it is. That's manifesting. Affirmations that turn into manifestations. And I fully believe in that. I don't think money is bad. I don't think money is bad at all. Money's not bad. Money is good. Money is very good. Money is helpful. Money provides a way for you to money provides a way for you to not only live the way that you want to live, but help others if you want to help others. It makes it so that you can serve. So money's not bad, and I don't think that it is, but it's uncomfortable if you come from a place of scarcity. It's uncomfortable if your survival instinct is to treat it like it's something that you're never going to get again, or like it's something that will get you in trouble, or if you don't pay this, it's hard. And we just read about that, and it's uncomfortable, and it was a very, very uncomfortable conversation that we just had and reading that we just had, but it's okay. We got through it. I'm very, very proud of us. I'm proud of you. And I'm thankful that you guys stuck with me while I suffered through that and drank through that and yawned through that. And my body was like literally just doing you see how I'm fine now? I'm not yawning, sneezing, nothing. I have nothing going on now because I'm done reading it. But my body was negatively reacting to that, as y'all could see. So we're doing good. We're doing all right. High five to me, to you. High five to you. We're doing all right. And we are shifting our mindsets together, and I'm so proud of us. Let me see what Sarante said before we get up out of here. I love affirmation. Glad I discovered it in 2020, because right now, this is the most wise, confident, all around peaceful I've ever been having the positivity needed to complete my small goals and learning to relish in my small victories as a blessing. Yeah. Go Sorante. Yeah. Well, y'all, that's going to be it for today. Follow me on everything. You can on YouTube. I haven't really uploaded anything up there, but there's stuff up there. There's like a couple videos up there. YouTube, Miss Taylor Said. Twitter, Miss Taylor Said. Facebook, Miss Taylor Said. Tumblr, Miss Taylor Said. Snapchat, none of your business. Instagram, Miss Taylor Said. Thank you guys who were here on Instagram. Thank y'all who are here on Facebook. We'll be back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope y'all have a lovely, lovely evening. Y'all should be seeing some posts from me on Instagram. So make sure y'all go and like this help me with my algorithm. Help me with my algorithm and everything. Everything. Y'all. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Day. And y'all have a great night.